From a heated exchange with Ronnie O'Sullivan and Mark Allen to refusing to shake hands with a referee and Judd Trump, this video showcases some of Ronnie's most controversial actions on the snooker table. Oh man, picture this, we're hanging out, right? Watching Gary Wilson. He's 25 points down, not a disaster by any means in snooker. Then, out of nowhere, he misses an easy red. You can almost feel his frustration boiling over. And what does he do next? Strikes the cue ball in a fit, sending it flying, chaos on the table. Classic snooker drama, huh? Makes you think, doesn't it? Even the pros can have those moments. Now he's likely facing a fine for that unauthorized shot. But hey, there were still enough points available for a comeback. So there we were, eyes glued to the screen, and then Ronnie O'Sullivan, the Rocket, right? Misses this easy black, and bam, hits his head on the table's edge. Can you believe it? Then he's up, waving his cue around like it's a sword or something. Pure drama.
Well, on his knees, he's so annoyed by that.
Just nicked the jaw of the pocket, and you could just see him, absolutely livid. And that miss, oh, it was a scene. You could feel his annoyance, couldn't you? So, get this, we're watching Elliot Sless, right? Dude's lining up his shot, tension's high, then wham, misjudges it completely, and the ball literally flies off the table. You know the feeling when you're trying so hard and it just doesn't pan out? Yeah, his temper just flared up like a bonfire. We've all been there, haven't we? Trying to keep cool, but inside, you're just... boom. All right, imagine this. We're watching Judd Trump, right? The guy's got skills, but then he totally misreads a shot. And in a split second, he goes for it. Ends up playing this illegal shot, knocking other balls around. Just like that, earns himself a foul. And guess what? Ends up handing the frame over to Carrington on a silver platter. Conceded, just like that. It's one of those moments, makes you pause and think, what just happened? Diving into this one, you've got to see it to believe it. We're talking Jimmy White, the whirlwind himself, right? Known for keeping his cool, but then misses an easy green. And just like that, his temper flares. Not something you see every day from him. He actually tosses the rest aside, like he's shifting gears in a race car. Makes you pause, doesn't it? What do you think was going through his head? I checked this out. We're back at it with Ronnie, the Rocket, right? Always keeps us guessing. There he is, facing what looks like a simple red, and misses. Can you believe it? His frustration just skyrockets. And bam, he lashes out of the table with his cue. Always missed it, he says. It's been a minute since we've seen Ronnie this fired up, totally disgusted with himself. You've got to wonder if he thought about the damage to his cue, hitting the table like that. All right, let's dive into this one. We're at the Crucible, tension thick in the air. Stephen Maguire's up against Barry Hawkins, right? There's this crucial black, a real game changer, and he misses. Imagine that. You can feel the weight of the moment. Maguire, I know him well, usually cool, but this time, the pressure got to him. He's there, cue in hand, and next thing you know, he's swinging it upwards, frustration pouring out. And then, as if that wasn't enough, he grabs the blue ball in a moment of sheer impulse and flings it across the table. Didn't cue it properly, hampered by the brown, they said. So there we are, right at the heart of the action. And bam, Italy's finest bumps his head on the table. It's one of those moments, makes you chuckle and wince at the same time. You know how it goes. You think you're just about to cross the finish line, lose a bit of focus, and then, ouch, reality hits. Literally. Painkillers, please. Table one, he might as well have said. It's a reminder, isn't it? That no matter how smooth you're rolling, snooker's got its ways of keeping you on your toes. There's only one winner on that table, and sometimes it's the table itself. Makes you think, doesn't it? Even the best have those slip-ups. Adds a bit of human touch to the game, drawing us closer, sharing a laugh or a wince together. What's your take on that? A bit of a humbling moment, showing us the lighter side of snooker. So there we were, Stuart Bingham lining up his shot, right? The silence, the focus, and then, boom, a cell phone rings in the crowd. Total buzzkill. Misses his shot and turns around, gives this pointed thumbs up to the culprit. Classic Bingham, handling it with a bit of sass. Another please, make sure your phone is on silent, thank you, he says. The frustration clear but cool.
Fast snooker by any stretch. As we get another
Can you
phone
please
going
make
off.
sure your phones are on silent? Thank you.
Here we are again, with Ronnie O'Sullivan at the table. You know Ronnie, right? The guy's patience can be as fleeting as a comet. So he's lining up for this easy green, and then, bam, misses it. And not just a miss, but botches it. Next thing you know, he's tossing the rest aside. Absolutely enraged, you can just feel it emanating from him. It's one of those moments that remind you, even the legends, they've got their limits. Makes you ponder, doesn't it? The pressure, the expectations, it all just bubbles up. Watching Ronnie in those moments, it's a mix of awe and sympathy. Moving on to number 9, we've got Gary Wilson, right? Picture this. He's lined up for an easy black, tension in the air, and then misses. You can almost hear the collective gasp. And Gary? He doesn't just stew in frustration. Oh no, he goes for a more, let's call it, creative outlet. Starts knocking balls around the table in a way only Gary Wilson can. It's one of those moments, makes you pause and think, wow, that's one way to let off steam. It's not just about the missed shots in snooker, it's how you react to them, isn't it? All right, let's talk Mark Williams. There he is, eyeing up this easy blue, right? You're thinking, he's got this. But then nope, doesn't pot it. And how does he react? With a sharp slap to the snooker table, that moment when you go for it thinking it's a sure thing and it just doesn't work out. He hits the red well, but the real kicker, he didn't give it that extra bit of pace it needed. And he realizes it, right as the cue ball stops. It's those split-second decisions, huh? Diving into this one, we've got John Higgins, right? Picture this. He's up against Ronnie, the game's heating up, and then things don't pan out as planned. Frustration peaks, and he's there, forcefully hitting his cue on the ground. It's like in that moment you can feel the tension. And then there's Matthew Stevens missing a simple red. His response, unleashing his anger with punches on the table. It's these raw outbursts that just pull you in, isn't it? You're there, feeling every bit of their frustration. It shows how high the stakes are, how every shot counts. Watching these legends, you get a real sense of the passion, the pressure they face. So picture this, Gary Wilson fuming like a kettle about Petrov's constant loo breaks. But then, Petrov pulls off a shot so outrageous, so ridiculous, that it's like watching a toddler pot a black from across the room. Wilson just snaps, cue flying through the air. Right, let's rewind. What was in that bathroom breakwater, Petrov? Did he find the snooker gods hiding in there? Because that shot was pure sorcery. And Wilson, oh boy, that wasn't your finest moment. So you're watching Ronnie O'Sullivan, right? The guy's a legend on the snooker table. But today, man, today was something else. Picture this. He lines up this shot, aims for the red, and bam! Misses it. And let me tell you, it wasn't just any miss. It was like a burst of thunder, man. He slams his cue against the table like he's trying to teach it a lesson or something. You could feel the tension in the air, you know? All right, folks, let's talk about Stephen Maguire lines up for a shot, right? And you're thinking, this is it, he's got this. But then bam, he misses it. And not just a regular miss, it's like a moment of sheer frustration, man. Maguire swings his cue in disappointment, like he's trying to shake off the bad vibes. You can almost feel his disappointment, you know? All right, so we're in the heat of the snooker moment, right? Dale lines up for that red, and you're thinking, nail it, Dale. But then, oops, he misses it. And man, you should have seen the reaction. He slams his hand on the table, tosses his chalk, and heads back to his seat. And just when you thought that was something, here comes Ronnie O'Sullivan. He misses what seems like an easy pink, and bam, he's punching the table. Snooker's full of surprises, folks.
The last two of the session. Well, why so hard, I ask myself? Why is he not just done in?
As we wrap up this countdown, it's clear. Snooker is more than just a game. Thanks for joining this ride. Here's to the magic of the green baize, where every shot is a story waiting to be told.